Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a bonus video on the WordPress for Beginners tutorial series. This is really what the series has been building up to, which was how to use Duplicator in a way that maybe you didn't think of using it. I used it like this for quite a long time, and I kind of came up with this strategy on my own. Other people may have done it. I have no idea. But I know that this is how I use it, and it's worked pretty good for me so far using this method. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a new local WordPress. I've already taken all the first steps in the starting videos of creating a user and password on the local system, setting up a file and folder, moving new WordPress from WordPress.org into it, and we're here at the installation screen. So we're just going to go ahead and install this as we normally would. And you guys, no problem seeing this password. This is just a generated password for a local WordPress that I'm never going to move to a server. All right, everything else, localhost should be the same. We're good to go. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to give this a site title and just call it SEO template. All right, or SEO starter. Let's call it SEO starter. I just put in this username, this password. Okay. Email, let's just give it the test because I'm not actually sending this installation anywhere. And let's run the installer. All right, let's go ahead and just log into this thing here. All right, so after we fire on a new WordPress dashboard, everything is undone. We haven't done our permalinks. We haven't installed any of the starter plugins that are in my starter plugins videos here, or my videos in the WordPress beginner series back on like video 8 or 9, I think. And so what I want to do here is I want to show you an interesting way to go ahead and use Duplicator that you may not have, like I said, you may not have thought of. And that begins by coming in here and doing all of our settings the way we normally would. So that would be going straight into the permalinks. We're just going to start there. Hit the post name, make sure it's got the proper for SEO tag or for the SEO URL type in our general settings. This is just, we don't need to change any of this stuff for what I'm doing here. And I think most everything else in here is probably going to be okay too, except for reading. Let's say that we wanted to set a home page. So let's do what I showed there, which is editing the sample page via quick edit. Change this to home, change your slug to home, and just do a quick update. So now we have a home page. And then if we go back to our reading settings, we'll be able to select that static home page. This stuff was all in the early videos in the WordPress for tutorial or WordPress for Beginners tutorial series that I created. So you can find all this stuff there about setting up your basics. And our plugins, like I normally do, I get rid of these two right here. Go ahead and just get rid of those plugins. So what you guys are seeing is all the stuff that we normally do or that I normally do when I create a new WordPress. Remember, get rid of any old themes we're not going to use because we don't want them to be outdated for any security loopholes. We're going to get rid of any example posts that are in here. Throw this thing in the trash can and say bye-bye because we're never going to use that post. Or just empty trash. All right, so we emptied our trash. We changed our page. We got rid of those themes. We did the permalink structure correctly, and we set a home page. All right, so all that's done. Now in our plugins, we could go in and let's say that we want to start installing some of those plugins that I talked about. And remember, I actually made a video about Classic Editor. I much prefer the Classic Editor myself, so that's the first thing I'm actually going to install here. So we're going to let that go ahead and install. And don't worry, we're not going to activate anything yet. We're just going to install a bunch of things in bulk. All right, so now we're going to go for all-in-one SEO and install that. And that's going to go ahead and install. All right, and then we're going to go for all 404 redirect. Redirect all our 404s to the home page. All right, let's go for contact 7. And let's also add in the code embed plugin to allow us to put code in our pages the way we want. Let's go ahead and put that in there. And you can add whatever plugins you want to start. I'm just adding the ones that I would normally do. And then we're going to go for PHP, insert PHP code, and we're going to install that one as well. Okay, so now if you go to our installed plugins, we're going to have a long list of our installed plugins, but nothing is activated. You can activate all of them at once by bulk actioning and activating every plugin in here, and it will activate all of these at the same time. Everything's now active. All right, so at this point, you guys, we have just a basic site that really has nothing in it. It's just the home page that has all that. The widgets, these are the widgets area, obviously. Remember, we talked about that too. And if you want to get rid of that, I'll just sidetrack real quick and get rid of those as well. Appearance, widgets. All right. And these are those footer widgets for the meta. You can just pull these over here and or pull them into here over the top of these other ones and they will disappear if you don't want any of this stuff in your footer widgets, which I don't. All right, so now our footer widgets are also empty. We can take a look at that by coming back over here and refreshing. And now we have just a very basic WordPress site with nothing on it, no theme, just our plugins and nothing configured. Here's the thing. Would it be easier to do this every time you want to create a new WordPress site, or would it be easier to create a duplicator package specific that this stuff's already done and install that package next time you want to create a site? I think you already see where I'm going with this. So with this site having nothing in it and being absolutely set up the way we want it, like we could, remember what I said about getting rid of screen options? We can get rid of everything on this home screen. And there we go. Now the WordPress is set up the way we want it to be set up. Looks like we have one update though. Maybe it's a theme. Yeah, the 2020 theme, so we'll go ahead and just update that. Okay, now take a look around. Everything's set up the way we want it. We have our contact form 7. We have our home page set up the way we want it. We have our PHP snippet code. We have our ability to code embed. All 404s redirecting to the home page. Everything we want is in here. Our theme is just our basic theme. Our plugins are what we want. And our users the way we want it. And all of our settings are set. Our home page and our permalinks. So once again, let me pose the question. Is it easier to do this every time you want to install a new WordPress site, or is it easier to take a package right now and do that? And then every time you want to create a new WordPress site, do it from a package. Right, it's much easier to do it this way. And the way that we're going to do that is the same way we did it before, except we're going to use Duplicator, and that would be the last plugin to install. And what you could do is you could actually create packages for every kind of site you're looking to build. So say that you're building an e-commerce site, and you want to create yourself a starting space to work from every time that has WooCommerce put into it and has all-in-one SEO or Yoast put into it, has specific setup the way you want it set up. It has, maybe you set up specific privacy pages. Maybe you've set up specific ways that you like to handle your products. And that's just for e-commerce. Think about local business websites. This is really endless strategy to do whatever you want. So in the packages, guess what? We're creating a package out of this, and we're calling it SEO Starter. It's going to go real quick on the scan and on the packaging because this is a very small site. It has nothing in it. It's just a basic WordPress deal. Now it's going to build that package out. And that's the thing here is when this builds, we're going to go ahead and save it onto our drive as SEO Starter. And when I go to, let me just go ahead and download it. One-click download. I'll get both these saved. All right, so I went ahead and just put those on the desktop here, and I made a file called WordPress. But let's actually change this name, and let's call it WordPress Starter Kits. And inside here, in our Starter Kits folder, we can create a new folder called SEO Starter. And in here, we can drag these two files. Make sure that this is not called installer 1. It only does this when there's two installer.phps in one file when you download. Windows will automatically append a 1 to it because it wants to give it a different file name. All right. So now in our WordPress starter kits, we now have an SEO starter kit that is configured exactly like this one right here. So as soon as the site is done installing via Duplicator, this is what you end up with. You already have all-in-one SEO. You already have your contact forms. You already have Duplicator, the PHP code, everything we talked about. It's already in here. So it's going to save you all that time that you had to do configuring your plugins and configuring your settings and your homepage and all that. And that's really why I showed the manualized way of installing, or the manual version of installing WordPress versus using tools like Bitnami or any tools like that. Because you can do this with Duplicator, and you can save yourself a lot of time by having custom package installs. And that's exactly what I'm showing you right here, is a custom package install. And so in here you could do exactly the same thing. You could configure a new one and say local SEO starter. And then you could have another one called e-commerce starter. You could have one called blank theme starter. And this is if you are a theme developer and you start with like blank slate or something like that, and you're going to develop themes. You can preset up all of your CSS, jQuery. You can compile all the stuff that you want to use for your blank theme on a local host, on an installation, duplicate it into a folder, and now you have a perfect starter the way you want to do things. And I do this myself. This is an excellent method. I mean, it's the best method to, in my own opinion, to create starter kits for yourself. I call them starter kits. That's my own verbiage for this. But so creating starter kits was really what this beginner series was building up to. And it's kind of a more advanced strategy. A lot of people would, even who build WordPress sites all the time, would really like to know about that. because it's really cool. And it's, you know, and if you look at the duplicator package installation video I made about installing via duplicator, you can see that it's almost exactly the same process as installing a WordPress from scratch, except that now it's already pre-done. So in the starter, we would just go into our local host, create a new / folder. In fact, I'll just show you. So we would go into our local C drive, into our htdocs folder, and here's all of our sites. Remember, we had new site was our flower site. SEO local is one we were just working on. These are all your different websites you can create. And we'd create a new one. Let's say we were going to create a new thing for like a gym website. We'd call it Gym Web or whatever you want to call it. You can actually call this whatever you want. And then in here, guess what you'd do? Grab your SEO starter and you'd hit copy, not move. And now you created a clone. And then back in your browser, all you have to do is go gym. I can't remember what I named it already. Gym Web. Okay. Gym Web / installer. And if you don't want to do that, you can just leave that and it will give you the index of, and just click the installer. And there you go. Now we can go to our localhost and we can, our phpMyAdmin, we can set up another database and password and all that, and fire this into a whole new installation and just get to working on it. And it's going to be an exact clone of this right here. This is exactly what it's going to look like. And it's going to already have all the plugins and themes and everything in it. And this works for anything. Themes, you can pre-configure anything you want, set it up, and clone it on your local drive as many times as you want, and have these little starter kits hanging on your computer. And you can update them every now and then too. So like say that 6 months from now you find out that all the plugins need upgraded and all the themes need upgraded. Well, guess how you update it? You go in there, you update everything, you redeploy the package, and save over your existing one in your starter kit files. And you can always stay up to date that way. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. That was a pretty short little lesson there on how to help you tremendously speed up your life when it comes to creating WordPress sites. And you can still use automated tools like Bitnami and everything if you want to start from scratch every time, or you can play it smart, configure the sites the way you want them, create starter kit directories, and put them in there. And I'm considering creating some starter kits and actually putting them on the WordPress in 10orless.com / I'm probably going to put them on an inner page, maybe like / kits or / starter kits, and just do some starter kits so that if anybody wants to download them from there, anything I've configured, like maybe even this SEO starter kit, like I'll go through and put all the plugins in and all that I like. And then you guys can just download the starter kit and use it as your installation, or you can tweak it or whatever you want to do. Anyway, that wraps us up for this video. Just a quick update on the other courses that we're going to be heading into. I'm going to be creating a course next on developing a plugin from scratch. Not doing it with object-oriented, I don't think. I want to keep it really simple so somebody who wants to develop a plugin can get an idea, because it doesn't look like there's a lot of good videos out there at this moment for doing that, or nothing recent. I'm also going to keep working on plugin reviews, and then also another series is going to be coming up on building the flower site into an actual local business website as if we were commissioned to do it by a customer. And that's going to be showing you from start to finish. Here's what the customer requested. Here was the scope of work. Here's what roughly we probably would have priced it at. Here's what we would have given them for a timeline, and then also going through the entire build, and then just maybe through my own method, and maybe that'll help people who are wanting to become a WordPress developer or something like that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching it. Let me know, did this video help you? Was this maybe a way you never looked at Duplicator before? I know that when I came up with this myself a long time ago, I was really excited about the concept, and maybe you will be too. Like, subscribe, and shoot me comments. I really do look forward to anybody leaving me comments that are helpful, or they want any more information or help, because I'm there and I'm looking to respond to anybody that wants that help. And I'll see you guys in one of the next courses or videos that comes out.